as you have pointed out, they started with global cooling. Then they went to global warming. Now it's climate change, which, yeah, of course the climate changes. It can cover anything they want it to cover. But once you this whole Climategate thing should awaken people to the fact that they've been scammed. And it's fraud. It's racketeering on an international level. And, how much money are you going to be willing to put out paying in taxes individually and state taxes and national taxes for something that doesn't exist? It's incredible.
It is incredible to me that the general populace out there, the people who are, know-nothing do-gooders, people who are being used by the system, they think they're helping the system. They're like, well, we got to save the world, and, climate change is going to kill us all. They've tricked them into thinking CO2, something that is invisible to them, virtually invisible to them, is a taxable substance, something that can't really be measured. But they can guilt you into having into saying, oh, you have a large home, you have a nice car, you put out too much garbage. We need the climate cops, the climate police. We'll be back after this. It's the Alex Jones Show. I'm Jason Bermas setting in. More with Jim O'Neill. We are back. It's the Alex Jones Show. I'm Jason Bermas sitting in. We're discussing Climategate with former Navy SEAL Jim O'Neill. Let me read some of this article for you. CO2 is not a danger, and it never has been. All of this toxic greenhouse gas nonsense is a load of rubbish. Scientists are familiar with the Cambrian explosion, a period in the Earth's distant past when, in a relatively brief period of time, new forms of life burst into being around the globe. During the Cambrian explosion, CO2 levels were approximately 20 times higher than they are today. That hardly qualifies CO2 as some sort of life-threatening toxin or a man-made toxic gas for that matter. At periods in the Earth's past, CO2 levels have been up to 10,000 times higher than they are today. I'm not saying that such extreme levels are healthy. I'm just pointing out to the auto industry, for example, most assuredly had nothing to do with the extreme levels of CO2 millions of years ago. When Mother Nature feels like it, she can leave one huge carbon footprint. So why do you think the public has been so duped, Jim? Why can't people look at this, understand that CO2 has been at levels of 10,000 times, according to mainline science, what they are today, yet we're willing to give our sovereignty over to global governance and a carbon tax?
Well, excuse me, I would say the lamestream media is a large part of it, and Hollywood, of course, and academia. And they're all in cahoots to push this agenda, and some for greed, but mostly, I think, for political reasons. They have a political agenda, and this is a way to topple the industrialized nations by making it so expensive to build plants, manufacturing plants, and power plants, and for food production. And it's on several different levels. This is Agenda 21. This is the population control. This is the spreading the wealth, sustainable development, which is another word for that, really. It's communism or Marxism, if you will. It's just wearing new clothes. And they've been at this game for quite a while now, and it's at the point now where they believe that they can take off the mask. And but people are waking up now, and hopefully Obama jumped the gun a bit, and there's still enough time where we can stop this and then go on a different path. I wouldn't say reverse it. I don't want to go back. But the status quo is no longer acceptable, and we need to go. We need to think outside the box and go in a conservative direction, but in a new direction.
Why don't, for the listeners, you give just a quick overview of how we should pursue these lawsuits against the criminals? Sure.
I would say on an individual basis, you could sue people like Michael Mann at Penn State. You can sue the state the different EPA, sustainable development agencies. Every county in the country has one now. All the departments in the U.S. government have their Agenda 21 protocols in place. It's almost an infinite list of places you could go to sue for being defrauded of your money. I mean, it's stealing. If they're using these facts and figures which are not based on reality to steal money from you, that's fraud, and it's international fraud and it's local fraud, and also not to mention there's also emotional distress caused by all of this. And I see a number of reasons to sue and an almost infinite number of places to sue.
Do you have an email or a website we could give out where people could contact you and discuss this further?
Well, at this point, really, go to Canada Free Press and comment on my article section.
Absolutely. We have that same article over at Infowars.com right now. If we don't step up, if we don't take action, if we don't go after them where it hurts, and that's their pocketbooks, how else are we supposed to expose this fraud? After all, the mainstream media, again, wants to spin Climategate. They want to make it about hackers and illegal emails, and you don't understand what this data means. And again, the press secretary of the White House is saying it doesn't matter because most people still believe in man-made climate change. What do you expect is going to come out of this Copenhagen Treaty in about 20 seconds?
Well, I hope nothing. But knowing Obama, he'll sign it. I mean, the man seems just not to care about what the people want. He just cares about his far-left agenda. So I fully expect him to sign.
He truly serves his globalist masters. It's the Alex Jones Show. We'll be back after this. I'm Jason Bermas setting in. Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv.